Hi, I'm Glenyce Hughes, living in the magic of possibilities radio show host and this weekly TV show host. And today this video comes to you from my basement. I was doing up some videos earlier and had everything all set up. So this week you get a white background for the background, usually at some beautiful location around the world. And you know what? Even my basement is beautiful to me this week. I'm just so grateful to be home and to be enjoying some downtime, some relaxation time, some snuggle time with my kitties. And if you've ever seen pictures, you know that our acreage is very beautiful, especially in the summer here in Canada. So how did I get so lucky? All right, so this week's radio show is all about how being right is killing the planet. And I know years ago, I used to watch Dr. Phil. He now has his own TV show. I used to watch him on Oprah, and he often talked about, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? And it's the same. Like, the more that you have to be right, the less happy you will actually be, and the less happy people around you will be too. It's really looking at what will create the most. You know, if you told your friends that let's meet for the picnic at 5 p.m. and everybody shows up at 5:30 saying, well, you told them 5:30, what would create the most? You adamantly saying, no, you said 5 p.m. Or you going, oh, you're right, I'm sorry, it was 5:30. Thanks for coming, let's eat. Or whatever it might be. Like, I know it sounds so simple, you guys, but really it is that simple. It is that simple. If you get out of the need, the crazy need to be right. Like, what if you were willing to be wrong? The problem is most people aren't willing to be wrong because they've decided they are wrong, and they're so wrong and have always been wrong that they have to prove how right they are. Yeah, so everything that brings up, everywhere you're proving how right you are because you've decided how wrong you are, will you destroy and uncreate all those lies? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, 𝗞𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗁, shorts, boys, beyonds, and these are tools from access consciousness. So it's really looking at what is going to create more in a situation. You know, if you're with friends, family, coworkers, whatever, what if the first question in your own head is what would create the most here? Instead of, how can I prove I'm right? Because right or wrong are just judgments. So in order for you to get somebody to agree with you that you're right, you basically have to prove that they're wrong. And so no matter what you say or do, they're not going to ever do that because they're like you. And they're not going to ever let their defenses be down enough to be wrong. And what if that was the magic? What if the magic is really allowing yourself to be wrong so that the defenses fall? You know, I often use the example of, if somebody walks in the room and says, well, you're wrong, and this person goes, well, you're wrong, and you're wrong, that sort of energy. And so the person walks in and says, you're wrong, and this person goes, you're right. There's no energy to fight. There's nothing to fight up against. It's just done. And if you didn't actually believe it, you knew you were saying it to manipulate, to create more on the planet, how much then could that create? What might actually be possible if you were willing to be wrong, knowing you were never wrong. You've never been wrong, you'll never be wrong. But the more that you have to be right, the shorter time span that we have on this planet. Because that anger, that rage, that fury, that defense energy, that judgment, that criticism, all of that energy is what's killing this planet. It's what's killing our sweet bodies. So if we were willing to know that we've never been wrong, we will never be wrong, then we don't have to prove that we're right, which means then we can say to somebody, man, you're so right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was wrong. Everything that brings up for you, will you destroy it and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, 𝗞𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗁, shorts, boys, beyonds. I actually did a whole radio show on it called The Greatest Manipulation You Will Never Use, because most people won't. Most people refuse to admit they were wrong. And what if it's just a manipulation? What if you don't have to admit you were wrong because you've never been wrong? But what if you're willing to say it to create more on this planet, to keep this planet alive longer so that your kids, your grandkids, great grandkids, or in my case, great nieces and nephews and all, like, what if that's what we're here to be, is to drop the defenses? And if that means saying to somebody you're wrong, who cares? What if we could be that invitation for the world? So check in with yourself this week. See where you want to go to defense. See where you want to be right. And invite yourself to a different possibility. Invite yourself to something totally different, which means you just say, you're right, I'm sorry. I wonder what that might create in your world and in the planet, on the planet. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week, everybody, and I will talk to you next week.